So speaking of the Browns, one of the things that was another thing that was interesting to me was the Haslams talked about Deshaun Watson's personal growth. They talked about him emerging as a leader of this team, and that they were proud of the man that he was becoming and the athlete that he was becoming. So it raised the thought in my head. Two questions. One, is Deshaun Watson the undisputed leader of the Cleveland Browns now? And then two, is he a team captain this year?
Who wants to start?
I don't think he's the undisputed leader of the team because, like when you playing football, I'll give you a quick story. We had Ryan Hawk, right? So it's A.J. Hawk's brother, right? He played at Miami. He threw for a bunch of yards, and he transferred to OU, right? So we like, oh, hell yeah. Name brand recognition. This is what we talking about. We about to go. We about to kill. We about to ball. And then we forgot we were still having option tendencies. We still didn't have no offensive line that could pass block. And we was running fullback dive, and it just didn't work. He was on talent. He was the best quarterback, but in the system and what we was doing, it just wasn't. It didn't click like that. And so when you look at it, you got to have results first. Like, here, you can't be the undisputed leader until you get that fourth quarter comeback, or when the defense give up a late score and you say, no, dog, I got it, right? You need that thing. Remember when Baker Mayfield came in against the Jets, and it was down a couple touchdowns or whatever. He throws a pass to Jarvis Landry that was a laser. I don't even know how he still caught it. And then they got the Philly throwback special or whatever the case may be. When they came back and won that game, that's when he became the leader.
Yeah.
That right there, it was undisputed. Deshaun Watson has to have a signature moment. When you get a signature moment that says, I am here, I have arrived, fans will get behind you, the team will get behind you, coaches will get behind you, and the media will actually get behind you too, because the media is still at this point not even giving him the benefit of the doubt. But when they see it and be like, okay, all right, well now it's different.
Can I give you a basketball example of that that's almost dead on spot, similar to the Deshaun Watson situation here? So my sophomore year going into my junior, we got this transfer. I played at Emerson College D3. It's not the NFL, I get it, different sport. Came in mid-season. His name was John Goldberg, 6'4", small forward, do everything our coaches told us when he came in. He's going to be the best one on the team next year. He should be a D1 bat. He should not be here. I don't know how we got him to come here. He wants to come here. He can't say to sit out. And you see him in practice, and obviously he's awesome. But he's kind of quiet, kind of learning his role, trying to fit in. And they wanted him to be the leader, but he couldn't be the leader because he wasn't playing.
Right.
We go into that offseason, and they're like, hey, he's our captain. And we still have never actually played with this guy. We've practiced with him, but we've never been on the court in a battle with him. And he's trying to give us these rah-rah speeches, and he's a nice guy. Like, nothing wrong with G. I still talk to him all the time, but we don't want bought in yet. And in the first scrimmage, and it's a scrimmage, tie game, basically set up situations, and the way we did the scrimmage was controlled. So we had one offensive possession, tie game, 20 seconds left, one defense of both teams. He got a block on their possession, won us the game or sent it to overtime, and he drove and hit an and one with 2 seconds left to win. And in the locker room comes back, goes, essentially in different words, goes, this is my effing team now.
Yeah.
And that was the moment. And it was like, all right, that's G. He's the captain.
Yeah. So
From there,
we saw it.
You just need to, and with Watson, he was never going to be the bona fide certified leader last year with everything else going on, only playing 6 games. And I think he's on track to possibly become and should become the leader of the Browns once he gets on the field, because you go back to his Clemson days, his leadership was maybe his best quality coming out of college. He was a guy that everyone on Clemson would have gone to war for. In Houston, he was a guy that, from all accounts, his teammates would take a bullet for. And then he comes here, he just has to get that one moment to show, hey, he's back to being who we thought he can be and who he was. And I don't think it'll be a question. He will be the undisputed leader as long as he can show that he's the same player on the field. But I think it's a little premature to call him that at this moment.
I disagree. He is the leader, because who else is it? Who else is it?
That's fair too.
There is no one else.
Very fair.
It's him. It's not Miles. It ain't Amari Cooper. It ain't Nick Chubb. It's Deshaun.
That's
it's
fair.
not a lineman.
It ain't Batonio. It's Deshaun, because there's nobody else.
So I don't disagree with that at all. But do you think the rest of the team can buy in before there's that cinching moment?
Yes. I think that they've already bought in. They loved this guy last year. Like, when he wasn't playing, these dudes loved him. Like, they took to him. I was saying earlier in the show, Baker broke the locker room, and these guys swarmed to Deshaun. Like, it was almost uncomfortable with everything else that was going on. The way that they just sucked to him and magnetized to him, like.
And you're in the locker room, and this is stuff that me and G, we're not privy to, that you get actually firsthand look at.
Yeah, they really took to him right away. He is the unquestioned leader of this team. I tend to think if they go the captain route of naming one guy, and a lot of times they do the rotating captain thing, I tend to think they'll continue to do that because it's a little early given everything else. Like, there's going to be some. It'll be a thing if they make him a captain right away. But he is whether he's got a C on his jersey or not, he is the leader of that franchise. You can love it, you can hate it. He is the leader of that franchise.
As far as the captain thing and wearing the C, he definitely is about to get the captain. Like, I look at peak quarterbacks that were Matt Ryan was the captain on the Colts. Carson Wentz, they gave him a captain. I'm like, the quarterback literally has to be the captain. It just is what it is. Like, it's just. I mean, they control too much of the way you play. They got the ball every single play, and it's weird to have a lineman be a captain because linemen don't affect the game in a way like that.
Do you know what is cool about Deshaun Watson? Did you finish the quarterback documentary?
No.
Have you gotten through most of it?
Oh,
on
yeah,
Netflix?
I gotta watch that, yeah.
So there's 3 guys, right? Of all the Marcus Mariota scenes, I think it was pretty evident to me that he might be a solid quarterback, but, like, as far as the leadership and the alpha dog mentality, I don't think that exists.
He just looked like he was scared.
There's not a bone. From my perception of watching that show, I've never met Marcus. It did not look to me that he had that alpha dog, I'm a leader, rally around me
confidence,
mentality.
like, yeah.
Kirk Cousins was a leader by example, and I got that from watching the show. Who knew he was that tough? Mm-hmm. Dude played through a bunch of injuries, was always there, seemed like a great teammate, but he wasn't, in my opinion, when watching that, coming across as a guy who in the huddle, and he was like, let's have a great game, guys. Team on 3, 1, 2, 3 team. He's like the PG Elmer's fudge cookie guy. Like, he's not. And then you see Mahomes, right? And Mahomes on and off the field had this magnetic charisma, the way he interacted with his teammates, the way they, during the mic'd up clips in the games when he was like, hey, we're doing this now.
I do this.
And Deshaun Watson has all the characteristics and traits to be in the Mahomes category, way more than he has to be in the Cousins or the Mariota category. And you guys correct me if I'm wrong. Baker may have had that for a quick split second his rookie year when he came in, and that second year when they made the playoffs, but it never truly seemed like he was the unquestioned guy after the whole Myles Garrett helmet situation and some others. Deshaun Watson has all the traits and the characteristics to be in that Mahomes-level leader that I don't think the Browns have had at quarterback since Otto Graham.
Yeah, I don't think. I just
is that totally unfair?
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
I mean, they haven't had a quarterback. I mean, he's the most physically gifted quarterback they had,
ever.
And he has more of a magnetic personality, star quality to him. But one of the things I just keep going back watching these '80s Browns, and Bernie was getting taped together and thrown back out there. But one thing he did, they always talked about was he knows what's going on. He's going to put you in position to play the game, and he led based on all the decisions that they gave him the full playbook. I'm encouraged more that they said Deshaun Watson said I got access to the full playbook. Basically said I'm going to be able to run my thing out here, do my thing. And Jason talked about that way back in January and February about how it was going to be. But he's going to have access to the whole offense. He got the keys. So one thing I always say is, yeah, you can try to blame Stefanski because he's the next up on the cut list because that's just the way it works. But if Deshaun is not successful this year, he's going to have to take a large sum of that blame too because he's going to have the autonomy that I've never seen another quarterback have.
And you want your leader to have that ability.
Yes.
Good or bad.
Yeah.
Is that fair, Jason?
Yeah.
Ownership. Yeah. You like people having skin in the game. You like people taking ownership of it, man. So, he'll have that ability, and we'll see where it goes, but they're there.
Earl, what's the internet saying today?